Amnesty International has said that anti-Gaddafi forces fighting to topple the Libyan leader committed unlawful killings and torture in what often amounted to a brutal settling of scores. In a report, Amnesty says that just after the opposition forces took control of eastern Libya, groups of fighters killed dozens of captured government soldiers and suspected mercenaries, often by shooting and hanging. Well, to discuss the report further, let's speak to its co-author, Claudio Cordoni, who is a senior director at Amnesty International and joins us on the line from Tripoli. So are you basically suggesting that both Gaddafi and anti-Gaddafi forces committed war crimes? And what kind of evidence do you have for this?
Well, we spent the last 6 months, we had about 6 people taking turns and being in the country from Benghazi to Misrata to Tripoli. And we've carried out loads of interviews. We've actually seen the sites, and we were in some of the areas as the fighting was going on, such as Misrata. So in that sense, what we've seen is obviously the killings carried out and the other abuses carried out by Gaddafi's forces, the scale and nature of which is now pretty well known. But at the same time, we've seen abuses from the other side, particularly in the initial first days. There were lynching of Gaddafi soldiers, and there were killings in the subsequent weeks, including of nationals from sub-Saharan Africa, as you know, often accused, suspected of being mercenaries, but also about a dozen people suspected of being part of Gaddafi security forces that were killed in the east. So we have obviously concerns about those events, and we have concerns about the detainees now being held currently in a number of detention centers around the country.
And these are, of course, also foreigners as well in these detention centres. Now, are you concerned that these reprisal attacks, were they attacks in the due course of war, or is there some kind of reprisal element in them? Were they vindictive, malicious?
Where obviously, any time somebody that is no longer involved in combat, people who have been captured, then they have to be protected, and not just they shouldn't be killed, but they shouldn't be ill-treated. The situation now with the detention centers that we visited in Tripoli and its surrounding areas is one where still these centers are run by the local armed groups that are running those particular areas, and people are being brought in arbitrarily. They're being beaten up and roughed up in the centers. We know the National Transitional Council is concerned about this situation, and we would like them to do more to quickly assert control over these centers, put them under the supervision of the civilian authority, the Minister of Justice in particular, so that they're taken away from the various armed groups that at the moment are the exclusive control of these centers.
OK, Claudio Cordoni from Amnesty International, thank you with the latest on that. Now, gunmen in Iraq have shot dead at least 20 Shia pilgrims. They appear to have been forced off a bus and shot one by one. Their bodies were found in a remote desert region about 300 kilometres west of Baghdad. One report said the pilgrims were all from Karbala in southern Iraq. Now, Rico, it's been 6 months since that massive earthquake and tsunami in northeastern Japan.